I got something that's going to shock you, especially when it comes to this global trade stuff. So my last video I did XRP and their BIS, but this video I'm talking about the global trade finance distribution with XDC as the reserve asset, or at least that's what I think. What is the global trade finance distribution? Are the big players, Citigroup, the World Trade Organization, ICC. And why this is important is because this means that they're trying to almost vet these layer 1 and layer 2 solutions. You need, the whole point of having, inviting these blockchains is to basically regulate them and make them a bank. Right now we're in the regulation phase, and where these major companies are going is Singapore. Where is XDC? They're in Singapore, and there's a company called Zinfin. So one thing about XDC that XRP doesn't have is XDC is ISO 20022 compliant. As an engineer, I have to go through all this stuff, especially for one of my projects I did. I had to basically be like a type 2 compliant for some of my data. When you have this type of basically like compliance, it's like a badge of honor, or at least a badge saying like, hey, you can use this API. And these developers, they could think of an API as just like the connection points, like for a house. It gives them the ability to use their network for assets on chain. Assets on chain, like your house, are important to the banks because a bank has tier 1 assets that they need to have on reserve. A tier 1 asset, like a house or something stable, like a stable coin, you can use XDC for, which is the infrastructure network, which is the infrastructure network. And you have these ecosystem applications that are built. Now we're not quite there, in my opinion, yet, but you're essentially have these decentralized apps battle tested to have them as reserve assets. Why is this important? Ripple has gone through the battle testing with basically these the central banks, the banks of the banks. In my last video, I talked about that. And what I think we're going to see is more of this. Where you're going to find like, hey, where are the 5 pillars that I talked about? You're going to see them as reserve assets. The point of assets on chain are to build the point of assets on chain is to save on taxes, to borrow against it. But if you need the ability to take your house and put it on the blockchain. You can't really do that right now, but you can with these infrastructure layers like XDC. XRP, in my opinion, is not really built for that. They're built for cross-border payment. Hey, if you like this video, I do server building, and I'll be talking more about this. XLM is my next one, but I'm really going to be talking about XDC a lot because I think it's fascinating. I think they're at really the point where it makes sense to me to having like assets where you can borrow against. Anyways, if you like this, give me a like. I want to hear from you. What do you think? And catch you later.